If you're not gonna say something nice to him, get your bags and go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Really quick, thank you guys to the members. These are the ones on the screen. You guys are beautiful. I really hope everybody's having a good day today. If you guys want to talk about anything, drop it down below in the comments. You guys know I am active. Let's talk about another episode today, one that you guys also recommended, Meet the Cuban Parents.
Besides, they've never seen the new house and I want everything to be perfect.
Before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys, if there are any episodes that you guys want me to cover, drop them down below as well. I am working on about 3 episodes right now so that, you guys have that 10 minutes of entertainment. Enough of the yap. Let's get into it.
Mom, look! We found a tree! Is that the sound of pine needles hitting my clean kitchen floor?
Now, what makes this episode so good is that it looks like a genuine, simple Christmas episode.
That's just Christmas. Come on, your parents don't understand a few pine needles.
George, they're doctors. They're used to everything being sterile.
Man, I miss the holidays. Now, Angie's parents are coming to visit. George is extremely insecure, and you can see that from the very get-go.
Oh my God, they're here. I'll get it!
Here we go. Here comes all the kissing and the hugging. Here come the loud, emotional Cubans.
Vic is going to act superior, and this is the first time that we meet Vic.
George!
Vic! Melina.
I was wondering why Angie was so skinny, but now I know where the food's going,
It's like the classic sitcom holiday setup. But underneath all of this episode is actually talking about respect. George does not take a liking to Vic because even after 15 plus years of being married to Angie, Vic still doesn't respect him. Vic still looks at George as that troubled kid that came over to Angie's house and stole her away.
One day, Carmi's gonna be the princess of the Cuban Day Parade.
But I'm only half Cuban.
That's not your fault, honey.
And low-key, I'm kind of glad that we don't see Emelina as much because she sounds like a nightmare. That right there is the first little jab. Like basically saying that she's sorry Carmen is not full Cuban. Like, what's wrong with being Mexican? The important part through all of this is that Vic's disrespect does not come through actual comments. It comes through small actions, jokes, money, culture. Like, Vic knows George very well, that he knows exactly what button to press to make him feel small.
Hey, I like the little tree for the kitchen. When are you getting the big one for the living room?
I'm picking up tomorrow.
We get to see a little bit more of Vic playing big dog here.
Wait a minute, what's this? All these bills are crumpled. I might as well throw them away, unless I can get someone to take them off my hands.
This is probably one of the biggest put-downs.
Vic, you shouldn't do that.
Don't worry, George. I didn't forget about you. Treat my daughter to a nice dinner.
And right after he gives Carmen and Max some money, he also gives George some money. Now, it honestly sounds generous until you look at George's face. George feels humiliated because even after 16 years, Vic is still giving George money.
Look, we've been married for 16 years and your dad's still giving me money.
It's his way of trying to help.
Oh, it's insulting, Angie. He's disrespecting me in my own house.
He's not entirely unreasonable. If you think you're humiliating me by giving me money, what's kind of interesting to point out here, and something that you notice, is George actually feels kind of hurt that Vic doesn't look at him as a success.
As long as I've known your dad, he's always looked down on me. You know, I'm managing the plant now. I don't need his pity money.
It's like Vic's opinion truly matters. And for someone that claims that they are a man's man, why do you need another man's approval? You're literally showing your kids to seek approval. Oh wait, he kind of does that. You can see this with Carmen and Max. But then you also realize how Benny treats him, and yes, George absolutely seeks approval. Now, through all of this, Angie is trying to just smooth things out, and she asks George to do one thing for him, and that's to just survive the visit.
Come on, George, they'll be gone in a week. I have to put up with your mom every day, and she never gives me money.
Now, one of the things that I love about just any sitcom, especially the GeorgeLopez show, are the holiday episodes. We have Jack and Mel singing a Christmas song.
Sleep in heavenly peace.
But then we have Angie coming to the factory to tell George that the kids got spoiled rotten.
My parents bought a lot of stuff. Some stuff that we were thinking about getting. They bought Max his big present.
They bought him the BMX bike. No.
One of the things here is George acknowledges that both Max and Carmen are already spoiled as it is. They are only going to be less grateful for the things that they do get.
George, you know my dad. He's always got to be the big spender.
And then the kids think whatever we do isn't as good as what Grandpa does. So what are we gonna get Max now?
Just because they know Vic and Emelina are gonna get him bigger, better things. And I'm sorry, but it sounds like you're kind of dropping the ball there. You should teach both kids to just be grateful for whatever they get, right? George has actually done an amazing job at running the factory.
I think somebody's gonna be under my mistletoe.
Incoming!
George, can we see you in the office for a couple minutes?
Powers Brothers have a surprise for him. They're a little bit borderline breaking some guidelines here by asking them to do this.
Check the cavity.
You know, the kiss was enough.
But then we come to find out that the Powers Brothers just gave George a huge bonus.
How much is this?
It's $1,000, George.
Damn, $1,000. Wow, thanks, guys.
And instead of George realizing that $1,000 is going to actually help out his family, possibly even save them from a tough situation, George decides to battle some masculine pride.
I'm gonna rub my father-in-law's nose in this money like a dog who pooped on my carpet.
Now, this is the part that always sticks with me, but now that I think about it, it is overkill. You see, George is doing absolutely everything to show Vic that he can also go all out for Christmas.
Oh my God, George!
Merry Christmas.
Now, at first, the kids love it, and honestly, the audience has to like it too because it looks amazing.
I have to say, that's a hell of a tree.
I think when you're a kid, you think of Christmas, you think of Santa, you think of snow.
As GeorgeLopez presents... Welcome to my winter wonderland.
In a way, Vic kind of has a point.
This is a department store Christmas. There's no culture. There's no tradition. There's no more.
And George gets even more offended at this because Vic is telling George that it's more of a store Christmas. It's stuff that you go into the store to look at. It's not an actual Mexican Christmas.
I mean, I can teach them everything I know about Cuba, but who's going to teach them about their Mexican heritage if their own father won't?
For someone that took offense to Emelina saying Carmen is not at fault for only being half Cuban, what kind of Christmas is this? Also, this line.
Hey, I got their Mexican heritage covered. I'm down with La Raza.
George is not even doing it right. La Raza. Now, George is so desperate to impress Vic, because of course he is, that he asked possibly the worst person for some Mexican tradition.
My brother's gonna be in a Christmas play. Why don't you take your family to this?
At the play, they realize that this play is actually one of the worst things that they've seen.
Papi, can you get off work for Christmas tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know, mijo. I have to ask my boss, Senor Scrooge. Feliz Navidad, Senor Scrooge.
Ah, humbug. Say that again and I'll pop a cap in your ass.
Though it's supposed to highlight Mexican culture, it doesn't really do what George is looking for.
Well, I made a lot of coin for you today, jefe. And being that it's Christmas tomorrow, I was hoping I could spend it with mi familia.
I'm a businessman. You think people stop getting high just because it's Christmas?
And the joke here is that George wants culture, but he accidentally picked the most worst, most violent, extreme possible version of it.
Get down! It's a drive-by!
Once they're back at the house, Vic continues to poke at him.
What are we going to do on Christmas Day? Open our presents in a whorehouse?
Right, that's it. Put it down.
Until George finally snaps.
I only took everybody to that play to impress you, because you've been on my back since you got here.
Oh, so now the play's my fault.
Yeah.
This is a moment where George, for once, does something that he needed to do from the very get-go, possibly even from the very beginning of his marriage with Angie.
I'm happy with our Christmas. You know what our Mexican-American tradition is? We open presents and spend time together as a family, but that's not good enough for you. No, I can't win with him.
That's to just stop performing and start telling the truth.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done. It's time you stop treating me like the 19-year-old kid who siphoned gas out of your car. What's it gonna take for you to admit I didn't ruin your daughter's life?
Angie has possibly one of the best wife moments on the entire show.
For 16 years, he's made me happy. He's taken good care of me and the kids. Do you realize you've never once said a nice thing about George?
And it really goes to show what kind of character Angie is, because she's literally kicking Vic out. But later on in the seasons, and I know I covered this episode before, Angie picks Benny over George.
Maybe I can lift this myself.
Dad, say something nice to him, or you're gonna have to leave.
Or you could tell me on the way to the airport.
And she makes Vic say something nice.
I thought you were going to screw up, but you didn't. Congratulations. So easy. Angie's my little girl, and you'll always be the guy who took her away from me.
And then you can kind of see George and Vic kind of become a little bit closer towards the end, because even though they still bicker throughout the years that are to come, George and Vic almost have this newfound respect for each other.
Till Carmen shows up with some long-haired loser in a Black Sabbath t-shirt. Hope for your sake he turns out as good as you did.
And all it literally took was for them to be honest. And this is what makes the ending work. George does not need Vic to think that he is perfect. He just needs Vic to realize that Angie's life is not ruined because she ended up with him. And after 16 years, Vic finally admits that. And it wasn't perfect or smooth, but it was enough. And sometimes for George, enough is possibly the closest thing to a Christmas miracle, honestly. Alrighty, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, let me know down below. As always, tell me how you guys are doing in the comment section down below. If there is any other episode you guys want me to cover, let me know. As always, thank you for your support. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.
I'd rather listen to Black Sabbath than have a myocardial infarction. And that was a free one.